Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with this. I am your host, and today going to speak about opposites appearing in your experiencing of reality. The question, which was, if something unwanted appears, how do I deal with contrast, contradictions, or what seems preventing my preferred reality? Now, just jumping ahead just slightly, NevilleGoddard has a wonderful quote that I'll just unpack a little. In the face of seeming opposition and conflict, I shall succeed. He will succeed. For I will continue to outpicture, not as in overcome with effort what the opposition is or seems like, but I will outpicture the abundance that I am now conscious of being. As in, he will experience out in his awareness, within his awareness, out of it, the abundance that he is now consciously knowing himself to be as that reality. Not the doubt of whether this exists, not the doubt of whether you're doing it right, not the doubt of, am I understanding correctly and embodying this experience? No, just by simply knowing that what I'm imagining as myself experiencing is my reality, quite literally right now as I'm imagining it, right? So, back to the question. Nothing that manifests, and when I say manifests, I very, very much mean anything appearing in your awareness, right? Anything appearing in your awareness in circumstance, in condition, in event, in thought, in emotion, in whatever past you perceive yourself to have lived, whatever present you are currently perceiving yourself to have lived, and whatever future you think you're currently perceiving yourself to will live. None of that, no matter what it is, can contradict, can prevent, can stop anything else that exists. It is actually impossible. It is impossible for one moment to prevent another one. You may experience the roadblock, let's say, right? We may experience the roadblock that, hey, I can't go down this road, is a block here. But that block experience only exists in the three-dimensional experiencing of it, right? Because all that appears is quite literally coming from the same consciousness, even the roadblock. Right? So you ask, if I'm experiencing the one, the opposite thing, does it prevent the other? No, because for you to even ask that question, the other must already be coexisting in your experience. Even if it's hidden or unacknowledged right now, if you are experiencing one side of the coin, you must acknowledge the contrast of the other side simply existing. And it must be present here and now within you for you to even consider something to be opposite. That's how contrast appears. You must already have the awareness of down if you are going up, right? You must already have the appearance of black and white together, right? You must already have, you see, I didn't even consider that was white until I said that. But here's the thing. So what's really happening is you are experiencing a story in which it feels like one side is preventing the other, but it's not. It's just how you feel about it. It's just how you see it. It's just not your preferred reality. It's just not where you want to consciously assume and live. But you're not the 3D version of yourself in that experience, right? So when you see that it isn't prevention, it's simply contrast, context, then the story falls away. You realize that you initially gave meaning to the contrast. That, hey, this is preventing something. It's not. It's just contrast, context, the other side of the stick, as Abraham says, of your desired reality. And once you know you gave meaning to it, and it never really had any meaning at all, you stop giving it any meaning because there's no reason to. If one side exists, so does its contrast. It has to. If one side of something exists and you are considering it to be a side, opposition is a side, then you must acknowledge what you desire simply does exist in the same way. And that knowledge, you consciously choose which side you want to experience. It doesn't matter if it physically manifested, it makes no difference because you are the one that brought it to yourself, right? That's who you are. And I get it, right? I get the idea that you do have ideas of other people and other stories having told you, give it the meaning that is preferred to you. Say, oh no, that thing that's happening, my specific person with someone else, the car that I wanted got sold, the house that I wanted to live in is no longer available, the job that I wanted is gone, something, right? The plans that I made with my friends cancelled. Give it the meaning that you wanted to give, which was, it's all working out perfectly. Now, sometimes you can struggle with that because it's like, how does this mean that? It's actually simpler to realize something, is that it doesn't mean anything. That this just exists. When you see yourself as reality and you know that this just exists, you don't have to do anything with it. I know we have this idea in the three-dimensional world, if something is blocking your way, you typically have to move it out of the way, right? It doesn't work like that in consciousness, because in consciousness, it simply calls forth something that exists. That's it. It calls it forth. Consciousness also takes care of where you physically are, where you choose to be physically, and the bridge of incidence simply exists. It's not asking you to be aware of it beforehand so you can create the bridge. It creates the bridge for you itself, God, we're all one, experiencing that all flow from here to there right now. Because that there and here to source is the same thing. Think about it like this. You perceive whatever is happening now is now to your physical self. But if God is containing simply yesterday, today, and tomorrow at the same time, like if you imagine God containing yesterday, today, and tomorrow, that means to God, yesterday is now because it's seeing yesterday. To God, today is now because it's seeing now. To God, tomorrow is now because it is seeing tomorrow. But even that is a three-dimensional experiencing of that idea. Why? Because yesterday doesn't only exist as yesterday, it exists as an infinite variation of yesterday. That means today also it exists as an infinite experience of today. That means tomorrow also exists as an infinite experience of tomorrow. And then when you realize today and tomorrow and right now are nothing more than infinite experiences, it's all actually just one. And then today and tomorrow and yesterday are nothing more than stories we tell to continue experiencing the now moment that all exists within God, within source. And you are that God, that source that it all literally exists in. Because as I was saying it, as you are experiencing a version of that idea right now and here. Because right now and here is all of that. So when you're imagining it, you're just experiencing it from within the frame, expanded, so you can see it. But God knows every corner of it, and you are just the part of you experiencing whatever corner you feel like, right? That's just you. So there's no contradiction. So what do you do when opposites appear in your experiencing of reality? Nothing, because it's not your preference. That side of it is not your preference. The side of it is what you are being, which is who I choose to be. So you don't have to ignore it, because ignoring it means, hey, this is real, I need to look this way, pretend I'm not looking, and I need to pretend to look this way, and then pretend to look this way, and put my awareness and my attention on the thing that I'm ignoring. But you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to do anything with it. You can just acknowledge that it's there. Acknowledge it doesn't even feel good, because it might not sometimes. And have this idea that, hey, this is not what I choose. What I'm imagining and knowing myself as reality, that's what I choose. I've already succeeded in knowing that no matter what's going on, this is who I imagine myself to be. This is who I imagine myself to be, from awareness, knowing that I'm imagining who I am to be. This is who I imagine myself to be right here and right now. Right here and right now is who I am. That's it. So you don't do anything with the situation. You don't ignore it. You don't have to not ignore it. It doesn't matter. So when you realize it doesn't matter, whatever natural expression you have to do with the situation just naturally happens. And if you didn't prefer it, revise it, rewrite your reality, so to speak, right? Obviously. And that's what you're doing in every moment. So you don't ignore, you don't react. And even if you do react, revise it. That's it. Because you can't get it wrong. Remember, nothing prevents it. You are basically just experiencing yourself more naturally as the version you would prefer to be. And the version you prefer to be, the knowing that you are a source, is the one in your desired end. That's all. So, thank you for the questions. A couple of people actually asked me about opposites in the past few days, right? So I said, okay, cool. That's where we cast our net, where we experience our knowing of reality. From that point, opposition, because there is no opposition, because it's you, right? So thank you for the questions, truly. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the liking. Thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for the joining. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for the following. Thank you for the wonderful comments, as always. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. Thank you for joining the Facebook page. And I will see you all in the next one.